Hello, and welcome to Becky's House of Sewing. I'm Becky, and in my room of sewing today, so you can see my beautiful halo quilt. So close to being done, so close. But this is where we talk about all things thread and needle, mostly cross stitch and quilting. But when you start saying never to multi-crafters, that's when you start buying other crafts. So don't want to rule anything out. But I really limit it to thread and needle things. Sorry, the spring is starting to get to me. I really do feel like spring is trying to kill me, but this is my favorite day. This is when we spring forward. Am I right, Robin? You with me, Robin, Lady Robiness? I know we're both solar powered. So best time of the year. The days, it's brighter in the evening after 6 o'clock. It doesn't feel like it's midnight yet. Excuse me. I should probably get something to suck on, but we'll go with it. I have not been posting much on Instagram lately. I've been trying to, in the recent history, to like post what I'm stitching every day. And for some reason I got out of the habit of it a little bit. I was excited after QuiltCon. I was excited about quilting, and I was anticipating some market releases that I got yesterday. Be happy to share with you in a minute. And I was just more focused on stitching than posting. That's all I have to say. That's my only excuse. And I'm sticking with the story. So, my halo quilt is, the centers are all put together, the blocks themselves. I'm just on the last two borders. Let's see if I can move it over a little bit. You're not going to be able to see the bottom border, but it's very similar to the top, where I have all low volume fabrics on there so that the circles get completed, and that's the focus point. That's how the cover of the quilt pattern is, and I really kind of wanted to emulate that. And yeah, funny story. Well, first of all, let me give credit where credit's due. This is the Halo Quilt Pattern by Jen Kingwell. Jen Kingwell is a fantastic quilt shop owner / pattern maker, and she likes to sew by hand. So her halo quilt was not sewn on the sewing machine. It was sewn by hand. Let's just pause and think about that. Right, Ron? I'm going to need to say Ron and Connie's name a lot today. I have a feeling I'm going to need to do that a lot. Oh, I don't know what's going on. It's later in the day today. I've tried to record earlier, but it had a little snafu, so it was just easier to re-record. But unfortunately, it is now like 9:30 on Sunday night, and all that pretty sunlight, because it was a gorgeous day today in Waxhaw, North Carolina. Got to meet up with some of my stitching buddies. Posted on Tar Heel Stitchers Facebook group. And we'll be meeting in 2 weeks, and we've decided to start meeting at the Panera Bread and not at the Starbucks. So if you'd like to join us, details are in the Tar Heel Stitchers. Or if you're not part of that group and you'd like to join us, message me. I'd be happy to get that info to you. We'd love to stitch with you. So before my market stuff came, Halo was all I saw. I had done the top and the bottom borders, which is about 28 blocks, and miscalculated. I had cut out more. Is it 20? I don't forget. Well, the moral of the story is I cut out the low volume prints according to the pattern. I cut out that quantity. And as I was trying to figure out the quilt myself, because the pattern is not very detailed, and I took the class in September, we didn't get to this part of the class. Like how to assemble the borders. The pattern shows the assembly order, but the teacher that I took the class from recommended nesting the seams so that the seams go like this, and that helps you line up your circles better, which when you stitch a accurate or consistent seam allowance, it works out beautifully. I would say this quilting has a lot of easing of the blocks into one another, and yeah, long may she wave. But she's my quilt, and she's completely beautiful, so I am not dissing my skill or ability. It's just how it is. So I thought I had finished all the border blocks, and as I started to assemble them, realized I did not finish all the border blocks. So I had to cut out more pies, and so I disassembled the two that I had, and then did some more cutting out. So let me show you this. So I have all the rest of the pies as kind of staged for sewing. And, you know, I'm anxious to finish this quilt, so I thought I'd get it done, but I've been very distracted today, and I'll get into that more. And I was very distracted last night. I did stay up way too late in celebration of springing forward, because it is my favorite day of the year. The days are getting longer, people, and I love every minute of it. I'm living in my glory days. But I was excited about this guy here because with the market releases happening or being promoted during QuiltCon, I had bought some sulky threads at QuiltCon in the idea of doing a conversion for these funky chickens. I will tell you, this pattern has something in it that is not advertised very well, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But if you are at all sarcastic and you are thinking about this and this appeals to you, buy it. Get it. Do it. There's a delightful little surprise in there that, again, I'm not going to ruin for anybody. But I'm even more excited to do them. So, when that happened, when my market came, I had put everything aside after I clocked out from work and immediately started it. So let me show you where I'm at and talk a little bit about the journey. So this is where I'm at. This is my start on the funky chicken. Again, they're going to be folded into triangles, so the actual stitching is in a rectangle. And a couple things. So the pattern calls for 28 count linen. Conveniently, I have a 28 count piece of mystery linen from that could very well be 40 years old. This is some stash that my mom gave me after my grandmother passed away. So it could be from my mom's stash, it could be from my grandmother's stash. It could be 20 years old, it could be 40 years old. Nobody knows. I'm pretty sure it's a Lugana. Sorry, my dogs are bumping. Where are you, dogs? Okay, they're settled. I have because I've repositioned, I've blocked the blind dog's path. So she had to bump her way to her bed. I put it on scroll frames because this piece is just a little too small for my 6-inch hoop. I do really like stitching in my wooden hoop. I have a 4-inch hoop somewhere. But in the lovingly architectural dig of my sewing room, I could not put my hands on it. It was not where I expected it to be in 2 locations that I expected it to be. And then I looked up and I realized my scroll rods are really small. They'll probably be a perfect fit for this project. And they are. I really do like sewing on the scroll rods. These are the roller frame scroll rods. I have several sizes. I even have a floor stand. When I really started using them was in college. The local cross-stitch store in Gainesville sold them, and I did a couple of larger projects for friends getting married and such like that, and I used them for that, and have collected several sizes and additional sidebars throughout the years. And then when I got re-addicted to cross-stitching during the pandemic, I got addicted to making project bags, and the scroll frames don't really work well in the project bags. I know Garon Stitchery has a scroll rod project bag, but I haven't messed around with making my own of those as of yet, because I've then started stitching in my hoop instead of these scroll rods, and haven't really enjoyed that as well. So I started stitching this and was having a hard time corralling my sulky threads. So let me get some arrangement here. So I decided, let's say 10:30 at night, to make a project bag, because every project needs a project bag. So I went, sorry, I'm off camera, at a weird angle. So I went into my sewing room and started the process of the architectural dig for fabric, and realized that I had this backing, because I like to make my project bags with the foam. So I had this backing, or inside back, kind of prepped already, and it was kind of the perfect size. And then I saw that this fabric was the perfect size, and it's again, free threads, you're welcome. Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea has been reprinting her reproductions on fabric, and they look very realistic, and a lot of people have been clamoring for them. Here's another version of that. Now this is, I believe, crewel work. It's another form of hand embroidery. It's called crewel, and it looks very realistic, but it's not. It's just fabric. And look, so I found that in the dig, I found that in the dig, and I found vinyl. I was kind of sad because I really wanted a vinyl bag for this, because I am doing a conversion, and I just wanted to be able to see what thread I wanted and grab it. I thought it would be a little easier. And I didn't have any By Annie vinyl on hand. By Annie, by far, has the best vinyl out there if you're interested in making your own project bags. It's an 18 millimeter, which I believe refers to the thickness, but it could also refer to the clarity of the vinyl, and it's a dream to work with. So it is worth every penny of it. And it comes in like a 16 by 3 foot roll kind of deal. I had on Amazon, at one point I had purchased a pretty thick vinyl that was an off-brand that I was happy with, but I can't find it anymore on Amazon. And I had been looking around for that millimeter size of vinyl, and found one that is a 20 millimeter vinyl, and I uncovered that in my architectural dig of my sewing room as well. I was like, great, I have some vinyl, perfect. So it is it is not the quality that I would like. If I ever do get to sell bags, which if you're interested, I'd be happy to make you a sewing bag, a project bag. It's not the quality I would use to sell to somebody. It is the quality that I could use for myself very nicely. And so, of course, I decked it out. I just got some new labels. See if I, sorry, the lighting is what it is, people. So that's my label, and then I had some bling maker on there. Oh, upside down maker. So made a cute little project bag. It works, and actually the chart and the scroll rods fit perfect in there. It's a little tight, but it works. So that's been very fun. I got to work on that a little bit today with my stitching buddies. We met up. So there's some local stitchers that I've gotten mixed up with. Getting mixed up with the wrong crowd, or the right crowd, however you want to look at it. We try to meet every other week. And if you're in the Rock Hill, Fort Mill, Pineville, South Charlotte, Waxhaw area of North Carolina, South Carolina, and you would like to join us, I just posted in the Tar Heel Stitchers that we'll be meeting in 2 weeks on the 24th at the Panera Bread and Indian Land, South Carolina. It's kind of a better midpoint. We've met at a Starbucks, and today we met at a Panera in Rock Hill, and so we're going to try the Indian Land one and see if we like that location the best, and kind of be a more midway point for all of us. I'm happy to drive, but it's nice to have it close. So, if you're interested, the details are in that Facebook group. If you're not already part of that and you live in the area, please sign up for it. It's really a nice, very interactive group. If you're not part of that group, you don't want to join the group, but you would like to join us in stitching and you're local, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you the details as well. So that aside, here's my other market haul, which is Bobbin. How cute is he? I can't wait to get him started. I'm sure I have some fabric that will work. I think I will go ahead and get she calls for a week's dye works on there. So I think I will go get that. But I'll wait for a couple weeks. I'm plenty busy. Because as you know, my one true love, or you may not know, because I do have a lot of new people. Seriously, there's about 100 new people since the last time I recorded, so that's exciting. I've been stitching on a peacock, a unicorn, a badger, pretty faithfully. Not because I feel the need to be a monogamous stitcher, but because it's literally the only thing I've wanted to stitch on. It is such a fun stitch. If you are thinking about it, I really encourage you to do so. You can do it in all X's. It's a full coverage piece. But just look. It's breathtaking, isn't it? And it not just because it's my stitching. It's so cool to look at. So this is a page finish of outlining. There's one thing over here, but it's not outlined in brown. And so since the last I've shown you, I've gotten this stuff filled in. I filled in a strawberry at Guild meeting on Wednesday. I've done these little petals around here. The centers are more red. I'm looking forward to doing the parrot, but he's got several colors in him and I haven't started him. So this is the second to last page on this, and then once that is done, I'll be halfway through. That's right, it's halfway. When I show people this that aren't cross stitchers, because I do, I'm part of the Charlotte Quilters Guild, and we meet the first Wednesday of every month, and we've started having open sew at 4 o'clock before the meeting, which makes for a long time, but I mean, if you're already kind of got the day scheduled, it's kind of a fun thing. And I am part of the tech team, so I usually have to break away and help set up. So I've been bringing my cross stitch. Also because I don't want to lug my sewing machine. I'd rather do handwork. Because at the end of the day, because it is long, we're just ready to get out of there. And breaking down the tech equipment is enough for me. But anyway, so the ladies have been oohing and awing over the cross stitch. And they're like, well, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, rude question. First of all, I'm not even halfway done with it yet. I've got plenty of time to think about what I'm going to do with it. Don't have to worry about that until I get it done. And who knows, by that time I might just want to put it under the bed. In reality, what I think I want to do with it is make it, because it's a reproduction of a tapestry, I think I do want to make it a tapestry-like wall hanging. So that's what I currently have in my brain. But again, I don't have to address that for a good long while. Over to my right, I have lots of finishes that I've done that I have not finished, but I still enjoy looking at. So I kind of have them kind of clipped up so I can look through them from time to time. Excuse me. Okay. So we talked about Halo. We've talked about Market Hall. Oh, this little guy, I promised you I would show him to you. This is the pin cushion that I got at QuiltCon at the Fish Museum and Circus. Is that what it is? Fish Museum and Circus. She's a very popular ceramist, and she makes these really funky pin cushions. And I collect pigs, so even though this guy is probably an anteater, I'm going to pretend he's a pig, or she's a pig. And she's the perfect size to fit like right in the throat space of my machine. So as I've been piecing, I've been pinning, glue basting, sewing, and unpinning and putting right in my cute, cute, cute pin cushion. So I've really enjoyed that. Another thing, let's see if I have that book. I do. Here we go. So, I think I talked about this in recent history, but this lady, Catherine Lyle, is the owner of the Mountain Thread Company in Blowing Rock, North Carolina. And this is her book that shows you how to make rope things with your zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. Here's some more. This is the back. My mom has followed her for a long time. I've always liked her things. She produces the rope, sells kits, sells the book, has fabric. It's a cute, cute little store. Blowing Rock's really cute anyway. So I encourage you to go up there and check that out. And I bring her up because she was at QuiltCon, and her booth was never not empty. I believe she also had a class at QuiltCon. So hopefully I put her name in with our programs people in the guild, and hopefully she can come to that. Or at least our quilt show next year. But last time I was at her shop, I bought a spoolette. And that's this cute little size of rope, and you can see how much I've been doing. That's what I'm about to talk about. I've been making rope bowls like it's my job. So I started, thinking about like a little Ort jar, and this is one of my first attempts. And I have one that I purchased from her because she also sells the completed things. So this is her work and this is my work. And the light is not helping me, but you can maybe see my stitches there compared to her stitches. So I've been playing with these. I made a few of them and gave them to my stitcher buddies today. And they are staying together, but there was just something not right with them. So when I came home today, I thought I was going to sew the rest of the blocks in, but I kind of tired. Like I stayed up too late last night. So I really wanted to practice those bowls and see if I can get that stitch right. And really what it was is that her instructions in the book are really good, but translating them to what the size of the stitching and the length of the stitching on my machine is, that's what I wasn't getting right. So I got some like tester fabric and just played around with the stitches until I felt like it was matching what this looked like. And I was successful. And here's what they are. So these little guys here, look how cute they are. Now she finishes them this way. This is just as nice to me. But there's lots of ways you can do it. And in the book, she shows you how to wrap the cord with fabric. So I made some fabric ones. Here's one. This one looks a little messier because this one was a failed attempt, like the old style attempt, and I just unstitched it, but I didn't bother trying to remove the actual thread, the old thread, so it's kind of a little messier. But isn't that cool? So they take about 10 minutes to do this. This is about 100 inches of rope, and she talks in the book about what kind of rope to use. This is an all cotton braided rope, which is the most ideal. And she has started selling, since this book has been printed, she teaches you how to dye the rope or the rope projects in this book. But since then, she has started carrying pre-dyed rope. Look, I like this one. Poor Edie. And this one too. So, it's a lot of thread, but it's also a lot of fun. And again, so mindless. You just have to kind of focus on where the needle is. If you mess up, it's easy to go back and just kind of stitch over it, because the stitching, is so on top of each other anyway, you don't really notice if you just go back and fix it. Anybody want a rope pull for their orts? For their old raggedy threads? That's what that means, Ron, ort. And so that's kind of what I've been up to. My husband's been away at Germany, and he's been enjoying my Flosstube journey and some of the exciting spurts of growth that I've had. And so now he's got his eyes peeled for sewing stores and quilting stores. And he had a hotel room near a quilt store and took some pictures of their displays because they were closed, and sent them to me. And I said, ooh, go back and see if they have a pattern. He showed me a couple of bags, and he's like, well, I don't think they sell patterns. I'm like, honey, they sell fabric. Of course they have patterns. The bags are in the window. Of course there's patterns to those bags. Just go in and ask them. So he did, and he got a pattern. It was not the right bag. They had some sandwich bags or lunch bags. So that's what this is. But it's kind of fun. It's a cute little simple pattern with the shop name on the tag. And it's in German. So if you ever go to Germany and you're in Frankfurt, you can go to the store. It was a really cute shop. So kind of fun. Mike said he's fluent in German. That the I'm not going to say it right, but this word here has a double meaning of sewing and from, I think is what he said. So it's like Sewing Frankfurt is the name of the store essentially. But cute logo, and that was kind of fun. And I'm trying to think, I think that's all my haul. I have some exciting stuff. Ron, jack of all trades that he is, the man literally has done everything in the world. Yeah, if you think of it, he's probably done it at least once. Since he's been a big fan of me doing this YouTube channel, he has himself retired and started collecting antique sewing machines, and has gotten into woodworking and leatherwork, which I believe he's dabbled in before when he has in his past history. And he's come up with the cutest logo, Carolina Cactus. I believe Connie is responsible for the cute name and logo, so kudos to Connie. But his work is really pretty, and he's posted it. I've tried to harass him. He's been on the on my videos in the past, and I keep trying to have him come back, but you know, being retired, he's just, you know, never able to record when I am or whatever. Our paths have not crossed, even though I've requested it time and time again. So what I think I will do, Ron, if you are interested, is that maybe we could just do a Ron's shop update. Because I'd love for you to show off what you've been doing, because it's been beautiful. He took my shears that I got from QuiltCon, and he's going to make a leather sheath for them. I'm so excited. So he's been stitching leather by hand and all the good stuff. And Ron, if you would like everyone to follow you, if you would comment on below in the video, whether I know you're on Facebook and on Instagram, so whatever you feel comfortable sharing, comment on it below, and I will pin it. So if anyone wants to follow you on Instagram, would be my recommendation. You can get some new followers and show off your wares, because he made me this clapper. I even made him sign it. He made me 2 clappers, but this one's my favorite. And it's heavy. And now he's making those leather goods. Yeah. He's got some good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's pretty much it. Just been enjoying stitching. I want to see how much more I have left on this roll. Watch a little more Flosstube and go to work tomorrow. Those are my goals. Get some more stitching in, all the fun things. But I hope you have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed the Halo quilt. Looking forward to getting that done, and I'll definitely show it to you when I get all the other 2 borders completed. And you know, that's only the beginning of the end. When the quilt top is done, then you've got to make the back. And I think the back, I'm going to piece it together. Again, I'm going to use the architectural dig. And instead of trying to sort and organize all the stuff that's on my floor and cutting table, I think I'm just going to sew it together and make a back. I think that's my current plan. And I think I'll make a scrappy binding as well. But then I've got to figure out the back, the binding, the basting, the quilting of it. we had a guild meeting on Wednesday. We had, I think her name's Kelly Young. She's a scrappy quilter, has published 2 books, and she's got some really great techniques. And she's got, out of those books, her workshop had some rave reviews from those who could attend it. So you might want to look, if you're interested in quilting. She talked about how she uses a domestic machine, which is what I have, to quilt all her quilts. And what she says she does is she starts in the middle and goes down about 10 inches and out to the side, and then goes down 10 inches and back to the middle. And then she does a quarter turn and then does 10 inches and goes out to the side and then goes up and then into the middle kind of deal. And then just continues to do quarter turns until the quilt is done, which I thought was brilliant, and I think I will try to do that on this quilt. But she free motion quilts, and I don't have, that requires practice. I am not practiced enough for that. I tend to just do walking foot quilting, straight line quilting, or like make a wood grain, a wavy pattern of some sort that works for me, and usually by that point I'm just ready to be done, and that doesn't require a lot of brain power or practice. I look forward to the day where I can do that. I've decided today that what I really want in life is a gap year. Or the adult version, I think I was told today by my friends that I was discussing and plotting this plan, is called a sabbatical. I need a sabbatical. And where I can just kind of play and explore and set up for my next adventure. That sounds awfully dramatic. But, you know, I am turning 50 in 4 months and 7 days. So one has to make plans, you know? You gotta think of the future. The 5 to 10 year plan situation. So, anyway, as I'm off to sew and dream of sabbaticals, I hope you have a great couple weeks. If I don't see you in a week, because I know Ron prefers weekly videos, but we'll just see how productive I am, and if there's time. But I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great time sewing, and I hope you get some good time in. Bye.